Totsiens graad 8. Ek het nie 'n opwindende les vir julle nie. Julle sal dit nie geniet nie. As ons nie binnekort begin nie, sal ons nie alles kan doen nie. Goeieste graad 8, wat was dit? Let's start again. Môre graad 8. Imagine we spoke in the negative all the time. Not only will it be confusing, but the world will not be a happy place. For sure. I'm sure you can guess what our topic will be. You guessed it, the negative, or ontkenning. Remember that we also make associations to help us remember words. The base word is ken from ontkenning. No. Ek ken daardie kind, maar ek ontken dat ek weet wie daardie kind is. When we add the ont or on, a voorvoegsel, your prefix, we usually turn the word into a negative. Let's look at vries, freeze, and ontvries, defrost. Remember, language is funny, and although it might be a rule, it isn't always the case. Time to ontvries ontkenning. I'm sure if I said, you ain't no friend of mine, you would all jump up and say, teacher, that is wrong. Only rappers are allowed to speak like that. We don't use double negatives. Well, in Afrikaans, you do. This is a unique feature of Afrikaans. Did you know that the reason for this uniqueness comes from how Afrikaans words was formed? Imagine 1652, all the different nationalities working in the kitchen. Working together. They had to create some way to understand each other. So, Afrikaans was born. Okay, back to Afrikaans. But wasn't history fascinating? Grade 8, there are two main rules you need to apply when changing an affirmative sentence into a negative. There must always be a double negative, except for short sentences like ek kan nie. Our standard way of creating the negative is nie, nie. But you need to know the placement of the negatives, the word order, of the woordorde. Let's look at the placement of the double negatives. Ek sing die liedjie. Look at the sentence. What do you immediately see? Daar sy graad 8, you should have recognized that the sentence is simple. There is only one main verb, and the sentence is written in the present tense. What is our next step? This is the step you always need to do when making grammar changes. Yes, ons moet die werkwoord glim. Ek sing die liedjie. Now we want to change I sing a song to I am not singing a song. But in Afrikaans, of course. Ek sing nie die liedjie nie. The first nie is always after the verb and the end of the sentence. Yes, Peter Parker, do you have a question? Teacher, what happens if the sentence has a time word? Spidey, that's an excellent question. Let's look at a sentence that has a specific time word. Ek sing vandag die liedjie. Ek sing nie vandag die liedjie nie. Ek sing vandag nie die liedjie nie. Both of these are correct. It depends on which part you want to make negative. Ek sing nie vandag die liedjie nie means you will not sing the song today. The negative emphasizes the time. The second example emphasizes the song of die liedjie. This means you will sing today, but not a song. Yes, grade 8. My kop draai ook nou. If all else fails, keep to the rule. After the verb. Before we jump to the next part of the lesson, let's quickly revise. I'm going to give you two sentences and answer A to C. Choose which answer is correct. Ek slaap, ek nie slaap nie. Ek het nie geslaap nie. Ek slaap nie. Sentence 2. Die seun spring in die water. Die seun spring nie in die water nie. Die seun nie in die water spring nie. And die seun spring in die water nie. Do you remember the trick? If you chose C, you would be correct. A round of applause. The rule is, short sentences do not get a double nie. Righty-ho, the second question. The answer is A. The first nie is after the verb, and the second nie is at the end of the sentence. We looked at the present tense. Let's see how the nie affects past, verlede, and future, toekomende tense. Ek het die liedjie gesing. We have our hulpwerkwoord van tyd jumping in and kicked our main verb to the end and added a ge. Remember to glim the verbs. Still, we apply our rule. First nie after the verb, which is now the hulpwerkwoord van tyd. Ek het nie die liedjie gesing nie. Second nie is at the end of the sentence. Ek het nie die liedjie gesing nie. These steps will apply to the future tense. Ek sal die liedjie sing. Step 1. You see it's in the future tense. This is a sal, jou hulpwerkwoord van tyd. And the main verb is at the end of the sentence. Step 2. Glim sal and sing, your verbs. Step 3. Put your first verb after the sal. Ek sal nie sing. Step 4. Add the second nie at the end of the sentence. Ek sal nie sing nie. Let's take a moment and drink some water. This is thirst quenching work. We have one more aspect to conquer. Some words gobble up the nie and morphs into a nie woord. Yes, you will not see a double nie as we discussed previously, but you will see a word that looks like it is in the negative and a nie at the end of the sentence. Have a look at these examples. Ek sien iemand. Ek sien niemand nie. Sy het my iets gegee. Sy het my niks gegee nie. Extraordinary. We saw words become negative by adding an in, and some words changed utterly. These words you need to learn off by heart, and you should immediately glim them when you recognize the words. Write them down in your Afrikaans sponge notebook. These are the commonly used ones. Iemand, which is someone, turns into niemand, no one, plus the nie. Ergens, somewhere, turns into nêrens, nowhere, plus the nie, of course. Ooit, have you ever, turns into nooit, never have, plus nie. Alles, baie en iets is everything, a lot, and something turns into niks, nie, nothing. Altyd, always turns into nooit, never, and naturally, plus the nie. Is there something you recognized? These words are also antonyms. Let's see if you grasp what we talked about. 2 questions and choose the correct answer. Ek het iemand gesien. Ek het nie iemand gesien nie. Ek het niemand gesien nie. Ek het iemand gesien nie. Question 2. Ek weet alles van die negatief in Afrikaans. Ek weet nie alles van die negatief in Afrikaans nie. Ek weet iets van die negatief in Afrikaans nie. En ek weet niks van die negatief in Afrikaans nie. What was your answer to the first question? Yes, B. A sounds correct, but grammatically it's not the most accurate. Remember, your teacher wants to see if you recognize these unique words. Question 2, you should have recognized the word alles and immediately highlighted it. Alles changes to niks and adds the second nie at the end. Voila! You can now negative in Afrikaans. Let's bring all our rules together. To change a sentence to the negative, you should, step number 1, Don't panic and breathe. Step number 2, read the sentence. Step number 3, ask yourself, in which tense is the sentence written? And step number 4, glim your verb. Step 5, change the word you recognize and add a nie to the end of the sentence. Step number 6, if there are no unique words, add your first nie after the verb and the second nie at the end of the sentence. We need to know 1 or 2 additional aspects about the ontkenning, but that's for grade 9. Try to use ontkenning in your creative writing as well. That is the end of our lesson, grade 8. Practice, 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 and you will soon be ontkenning without thinking about it. As always, I've loved spending time with you. We are growing and developing our Afrikaans, and that's always fun. Ek sal julle nie in die volgende les weer sien nie. No man, of course I will. Till next time. Mooi bly, graad 8. Hey Spidey, die muur is nie 'n klimraam nie.